Roberto, Mr. Mills, thank you very much for inviting me this morning. And Shawn, thank you for the introduction. Can everybody hear me in the back? The challenge, again, what I've seen in sales, especially in the last 10 years, is that, especially in the industry, there's a lot of people being pulled into inside sales and outside sales opportunities. And people who have been laid off or looking for a second career, who have selected real estate, insurance, other types of sales processes. But once they get in there, you see the jumpers. You see them move year after year, company to company. And I sat back and I'm going, why? Some of these guys are sitting with really great brands like Coldwell Banker. I mean, it's just a phenomenal brand. And the emphasis on training and evolution of process is just incredible. So why are these people jumping? And I think the challenge is that some people forget that the real estate business is a means to an end. If you look here over the last 10 years, this is the University of Waterloo. You see that there's been a decline in GDP, which means that people are being more productive, but their leisure time is going down. One of the, I'm going to call it a romantic notion about being in sales, is that one day I'll get that big commission check from the sky and I'll be able to retire and everything will be looked after, the bills will be done, and I can just do what I want to do. But the challenge is that we're working more but making less. And where this comes from is understanding this thing called wealth. People want to be wealthy, and there's lots of definitions and there's lots of esoteric approaches to it. But the best one that I've seen is from Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is the number of days you can work without having to go back to work and support your current lifestyle. So here's an exercise for you. If you take your current liquid assets right now and you divide by your monthly lifestyle costs, multiply that by 30, you get the number of days you can just hang around doing what you want to do without worrying about where the money's going to come from. And for some of us who have been in sales for 20 years, look, I'll be quite honest, I made a couple of $1 million in my career and it's all gone. I had to explain to the wife that was it, and she laughed. So that's the way it works. And then you get this wake-up call and you're going, what the heck happened? What did I miss? Well, along the way, sure, I took the courses, read the books, did pretty good, figured out how to close a lot. But nobody really talked to me about money, but more than that, nobody told me about the business of selling and being a practitioner. And this is where I want to bring a bit of an emphasis today in working with a great brand and tying that into this whole kind of jump. I got to get into social networking. Well, you know what? If you look at your revenue columns and your marketing columns of what your business sits on, social networking and social network marketing is an important factor. It's not everything. I was chatting with one chat this morning. He says, listen, I'm getting more results getting back to the old basics of letter on pavement than I am doing other things in print and that. So there's a variety of approaches in marketing one needs to take. There's no perfect rule, but today we're going to focus on social network marketing and branding within the Coldwell Banker family of services. So knowing that you need so many days in order to be wealthy, if we look at the life expectancy of Canadians now this is goes back to 2009, 2010, but you see we're living to like 80. People who are retiring now, it's a glorious thing to say I'm going to retire at 65, but you still probably got 25 to 30 years after that to pay for it. So the challenge comes down to now is, wow, what do I do? And this is where we need, as salespeople, to go forward with strategic intent. We need to accumulate sufficient wealth and profits. This is another key thing a lot of salespeople miss. And even though you guys are in business for yourself, running, quote, your own little businesses, the focus on profits is not there. Profits is the thing that allows you to build your wealth base and put money aside. So you've got this great system, Coldwell Banker. So if we can move forward with this strategic intent that I'm going to generate wealth from trading my ability, my expertise in the trade, in the business of moving property from one person to another, using that Coldwell system, then how can I go out there and make all this work for me? We need to leverage this thing called brand power. Now, for those who sat with me a couple of weeks ago, we talked about quote branding is dead. I'm going to revisit that in a second, but for right now, we need to understand that there is a lot of power in this thing called the brand. And what it does, your potential for attracting wealth is proportionate to the degree of perceived risk that your customer is working with. And the great thing about a brand in the real world, we're not talking the virtual world now, the perceived risk in the real world declines on a curve. It's not straightforward. When people see a brand they trust, they gravitate to it. And when you go down the street and see a sea of blue on those grasses, on all the properties with the listings, Coldwell Banker, it just, you know what? I'm going to take action today. So we talked a couple of weeks ago about the virtual world and social networking. And yes, the best advertiser in the world suggests that, quote, branding is dead. Inside of the social networking model, you can't lead with the brand. You have to lead with the solution. However, in the real world, brand presence equals brand confidence, equals certainty, equals action. And what we need to do, and what I'm going to offer you today, is a way to enter into that virtual world, leading with the solution with the brand wrapped in the solution, and we can come out the other side and actually translate that into real brand business. Income. Our income as salespeople. People say, Shawn, what does a salesperson really do? We close deals. No, what we do one thing, and that is we lead people to action. We inspire them to take action. When people come to us with a problem, they are immobile. They don't know what to do. Which agent should I go? What brand should I do? It's about immobility. And we as salespeople come to the table with the ability to focus and bring clarity to them. We take them from uncertainty and we take them to certainty, and at that point, they'll sign your listing. At that point, they'll sign your offer. At that point, they'll sign the check. This is what we do as salespeople. We bring clarity to immobile people. And the price they're willing to pay is based on the perception of protection that we offer them. It's rare that, apart from the insurance industry, that we think we're in the insurance business. But people are hiring you and me for different things because we're going to protect them from some kind of loss. They are hiring us because of our expertise and our abilities to protect them from, in the case of real estate, a bad deal, from the sale not closing, from bad financing. This is what they're hiring us for. So based on their perception of the risk management that we bring to the table, they're going to pay a higher or lower price. And I want to focus on this bottom one of the triangle, financing, availability, and price. If this is the only problem you're solving, then you're competing on price. You're just another realtor down the road. But the higher you go in the risk, chaos, order triangle, and you attack and help them with bigger problems and manage bigger risks, that's when they will pay you more. And it may be more than your commission. I mean, I don't want to say fixed rates, but there's a model for pricing out there. But there's greater gains for salespeople, especially in terms of referrals, added business, coming back to you. These are the things that we need to measure beyond just the commission check. So if we look at a seller's risk assessment, when you're sitting in front of them, here's what they're measuring your value and the price they're willing to pay. And if you just go down this list, you can kind of use this as a measurement on what you're doing out there. If you're just another capable realtor, well, how much of a risk to them is to find another capable realtor? But where it comes down to is finding a qualified buyer in time. If they've already have a house that they want and they need it done in 60 days, that's valuable. Oh, they're going to list it themselves with Sell It Myself agency. Well, are they going to be available on the prospect's time every time? Are they going to be ready for that? No, this is the value you bring to the table. And as you keep going down to the list, in theory, those risks should be getting bigger and bigger. And this is what you got to remember when you're sitting in front of a client. Bringing clarity is educating them about the risks and all this that you bring to the table to mitigate that risk. So your mission then is to engage with mutually profitable solutions. Everybody's got to gain in this exchange of value. And for those who want to build wealth in this business, you've got to approach the higher risk problems. Finding an agent, finding a house just isn't big enough to make money at it. So your mantra has to be opportunity equals immobility. How can I find people who are immobile, who are really in pain, that I can bring 20, 30, 10 years of experience and 100 transactions to the table, and they'll realize that my price is my price because I'm going to protect them from those dangers. So who's looking for clarity and comfort in terms of downsizing a home, upsizing, job transfers? These are the big problems that are sitting out there. Nobody wants just to buy a house. There's a need, there's an underlying pain, and this is the value you bring to the table. So when those people have this pain, they go to the people they trust most. They go to their friends, their family, their social network. And what they're looking for is an insurance policy. If I talk to Bob, if I talk to Mary, and they advise me on this, then I trust them. They've been through this. It's pretty good that I'm not going to suffer or lose here. But they're looking to be protected from a pain, and that pain is a social pain. They don't want to be the person that has to sit in front of their wife and say, I screwed up, or their husband and say, I screwed up. They don't want to be looking at their kids and going, look, there's just not enough room in the basement for you here. I know you wanted it. This is the pain. This is the stuff that we're dealing with a lot on the emotional level and dealing with clients. And these are social needs. And this is why they go out to their social networks. Because I am scared of losing a relationship and having to say, I screwed up, and hurting that relationship. This is where social networks will bring you the biggest gain, is looking for these types of problems. And these problems are fulfilled by these social networks. They actively reach out to their friends, to their families, to their colleagues, to their sports buddies, and say, listen, I got this problem, can you help me out? And this is where you got to be on front of mind. When somebody thinks real estate problem, real estate related, your name has to pop up front of mind. And this is where social network marketing come into place. This is about seeding. Again, the discussion I had a couple of weeks ago is that we're not talking to the end user of your service here. The end user does not want to hear from you. They're going to their trusted advisors. Our job in social network marketing is to seed the social networks with a confidence in their advisory system that we're the ones that they should be pointing towards. So these friends, family, sports, hobby circles, they commune. Now, when I was a kid, which, well, it was 30, 40 years ago, I only saw my friends at school. I only saw my friends when I went to the hockey rink. I only saw my social groups when I went to them. Today, it's 24/7. How many of you got kids? And it's like, I saw Johnny at school, I'm still talking to Johnny now. I saw Mary at school, I'm still talking to Mary right now. The old days it was like, are you still on the phone? Now it's like, holy crap. You're on this thing 24/7 talking to this group of people. And this is, in a way, it's a great thing. It's because once you get inside the network and your brand and your name becomes pervasive, it becomes the common experience to everybody in that network, and that's what we're working for. So again, the object for us is to get inside the social network, identify people who are in pain, find people who are immobile for whatever reason. I cannot move forward because right now, blank. And we need to move them up the ladder. We can't do it ourselves. We need to work in support of their social network, of their social trusted advisors, until we become one of those trusted advisors. So your next step towards wealth. Here's the six-step plan. Identify people with problems you can solve. That's the key thing, problems you can solve. Magnifying the need beyond the pain threshold. Look, everybody's got this threshold. And I'm sitting there going, well, I don't really need to sell a house right now. I'm thinking about it. How many of you done your walks, going door to door, and it's like, well, we've been thinking about it. That's the threshold. If you can move them beyond that threshold with whatever leverage you can, mortgage rates, price is going to go up, there's not enough listings, and price value is going to go up. This is where we as salespeople need to bring clarity and focus. We need to magnify the pain beyond the threshold in order for them to realize it's a problem and seek a solution. We need to position ourselves as the trusted advisor, offer the remedy, inspire them to accept the gift. We can't make them do anything. We cannot make anybody do anything. The word manipulation just really doesn't fit here. Unless they're willing to take from you, apart from tying them up and making them sign, we need to inspire them to accept this gift that we're offering. And here's the critical thing. We're on the mission for wealth. We need to invest less than we gained. If you're going out there day after day, and at the end of the day, there's $0 at the end of your transaction left over, and your cost of living is covered and there's nothing left over, we're not moving towards wealth. This is all a non-game, okay? Rethink this game, because this is not a wealth, you're not moving on a path towards wealth. It's just loss. If all you're doing is going out there and spending your time and getting nowhere, it is loss. It is not wealth building. So the key thing here is social networks is position yourself as a trusted advisor. First thing is we need to hang with their support team. And hang is a valid word here, because this isn't about standing there. This is about how many of you have ever experienced a social gathering, a party, where some of you go, wow, when did you get here? But they've been there all the time. They slowly become accepted by the group as part of the group. This is what hanging is. We're not going in there and saying, hi, I'm from Coldwell Banker, and I'm here to solve all of your real estate problems. We are coming in to be a part of the social gathering. So just imagine a big party. We're just there to see what's going on. Somebody talks to us, we talk to them. Otherwise, we're just listening and looking for opportunities, looking for immobility. The next thing is listen for the need. Very rarely in social networking do you ever hear somebody going, I want to give to the world. I want to create something special. Nobody cares. At the same time, you get some on the extreme end. How many people on social networking really talk about, man, I don't have any food or I don't have any shelter? Well, where we sit is in the middle, the love and belonging. This is what social networking is about. And people go in there thinking that I'm going to target doctors and I'm going to target high wealth people and I'm going to go in and get those big homes from social networking. Look, they're only in there because they got a problem and they want other people to recognize it. Very narcissistic. Okay, this is why you go into social networks, because you want people to look at you. You want people to hear your problems and come to you with solutions going, oh, here, try this. That's what social networking is about. Now, we need to attract their attention. We're standing at the party. How do you get the attention of somebody in the party? Well, you be real and be authentic, because as soon as you're not, everybody goes, what is that? What's he doing here? We got to be interested. This is the key thing, interest. Remember there's two parts of the brain, the left, the right, the analytical and the creative. We have to stimulate the creative side to go, what's he doing there? And then we have to massage the analytical part to go, what can they do for me and how can I win from this? That's what interesting is. We need to be useful at the party. We need to be relevant and we need to be nurturing. Not, oh, poor baby. But you know what? Feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I knew somebody who felt like that. This is what they found. Those tactics that we've learned about selling for so many years work so perfectly in social networking, because it's about that feel, felt, found relationship. We need to support their support team. We can't walk into the room going, hi, I'm the current winner of last year's listing competition, and I'm here and I'm going to list your house. No, we need to nurture. We need to engage, we need to inform, we need to inspire. We need to become mentors to the process that they're going through. We have to realize that people, remember the Circuit ladder, information was the first thing that people are looking for. I'm looking to be informed. Then we can inspire me into taking action. We need, when we're in there, remember we talked about that inside of social networking, we need to wrap the brand inside of the solution. Once we're at the party, once we're accepted as social equals, once people find this interesting and start engaging, now what we do is we become the brand. We become Coldwell Banker at this point. This is where we come out with all the great brand values that makes it a powerful service and supplies engine that it is. We come out and help people with integrity, with honesty. Sometimes we have to be brutally honest, but we want to come out with to the point where they say, where do you get your energy and spirit from? And you go, well, this is your opportunity to present the brand, bring it out of the wrapper, and now put it forward. You have to be the brand at this time. So you keep doing this, working it until the brand becomes the conversation. So you're going in, I'm just visiting the party, getting kind of comfortable, people are getting to know me, starting to build some trust. Then they go, wow, what's your inspiration for all this? I've been with Coldwell Banker, and this is what they do for me, and this is what they do for all my clients. This is awesome. So now all of a sudden, the brand is the conversation. And then it becomes the collective experience, because the weird thing about social networks is that once somebody has the experience, it truly is everybody's experience that's in there. So that when somebody in there trusts Coldwell Banker, everybody will trust Coldwell Banker. And this is the strategy you need to go inside. You can take a brand inside of social networking. That's not the problem. You just can't lead with it. Because going in, people are looking for information. And the last person they trust is the brochure. They're looking for real, honest experience from people. And this is your opportunity. Is get in there, feel, felt, found, share that experience, share the, I can't remember the word. Anyways, share the experience of others that others have had that they know, and suddenly you get this pervasive momentum of your brand and your name going in. So the next step, once we've got the pervasive nature, we need to transform the virtual brand trust. We need to now direct people into our sales funnel. Now that people know the brand, they know you, they're interested, they're going, hey, what can you do for me? This is where we now need to bring them into your online presence. Now, here was an interesting conundrum that I think it was Ralph who brought it to me, that a client had gone online and typed in their address, and it was everybody else's listing but Coldwell Bankers. Here is the problem. We need to re-educate our clientele. There is no exclusivity in information now. We're controlled by the credibility given by search engines. So if there's 100 realtors out there who all connect to MLS, who all say, show me properties in this area, the person that Google thinks is the most credible will appear at the top. It's got nothing to do with you or your particular website. If there's an agent who's been around for 10 years online and they've been getting, lots of traffic, lots of backlinks, they will have more credibility than somebody else. And if they're hooked into, I believe the term is IDX, that if they're hooked into listing properties on their website, then they will come up front. In the online system and services, we need to re-educate our employees, our clients, that they cannot expect in a search engine that we pop in their address and list with us and it's going to come up first. It just doesn't work that way. And inside of social networks, you're going to see more and more of this advertising, and they're going to go, why isn't my property popping up like this? It comes down to the trust. If more people are talking about you and more people are visiting you and backlinking to you, then you will gain popularity and you'll get trust by the search engines. That is the only way to get your online listings through the search engines up to the top. But it all starts here, getting the momentum and getting the trust of the people that are in there so that they're backlinking to you, that they're talking about to you, that they're sending links through emails and texts to their friends. This is how we build that online credibility. And then, of course, once you bring this up, Judy, you translate all of that into the real world. Because inside the virtual world, there is no money. Now, I gotta take that back. There is something called Second Life, where properties are going for anywhere from $100,000 to $10,000 for a virtual world. You figure it out. But in the real world, this is where the real money is. And we need to not focus on just getting into social networks and being accepted. We need to translate that into real opportunity. We need to take the people out of the social networks and get in front of them and get those offers signed. So once you're in the virtual world, all this is about is building the trust. You've got to extract that name and you've got to build real relationships with real people. That's how this is going to happen. And then at the end of all that, there will be tremendous abundance for you. And this is the challenge that I see with accidental salespeople. They don't link the fact that they have to really work at this. That regardless of what brand, what sign is going to be on their business card is going to change their life. It all comes down to the individual salespeople with an actual commitment and desire to be in this business, to want to help people, to find immobile people and help them take action. Because that release is the experience that will bond you guys together. It's that experience and that emotion that will embed the memory inside the brain. This is what we have to do. We have to create emotional experiences embedding inside your brain so that first on mind, when they're online talking about you, you're the ones who are being referred to. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shawn Chambers. I'll be here for the morning taking photos. I do appreciate the time, Mr. Mills, Ralph, Shawn, thank you very much. And thank you very much for helping me with this. Ladies and gentlemen.